Tusklessness is a natural trait and an inherited characteristic in elephants, but tuskless males are extremely rare. In normal circumstances, tuskless females are only between 2 and 6% of the total number in a population. There are, however, populations where the percentage is much higher. In Addo Elephant National Park in South Africa, 98% of the females are tuskless. In Gorongosa National Park in Mozambique, 50% of the older females are tuskless and 33% of the females between 10 and 20 years of age. In the Kruger National Park of South Africa, you hardly ever notice a tuskless elephant. Amongst the desert-adapted elephants of Namibia, a herd of tuskless elephants have a while ago been noticed, and an organization called EHRA are monitoring them. The numbers are not known. There isn't a single universally agreed upon explanation for the reason for a higher occurrence in some areas, but poaching and ivory hunting in the past clearly had a huge impact. According to Dr. Joyce Poole of Elephant Voices, in Gorongosa, the civil war in Mozambique that lasted from 1977 to 1992 played a major role in tusklessness. Soldiers hunted for ivory to pay for weapons, and 90% of the population were wiped out. Of the initial 2,500, only 250 remained. Some scientists suggest that in certain environments where tusks may not provide a significant survival advantage, like in areas with abundant soft vegetation as Addo, there may be a naturally higher percentage of tuskless elephants. However, one can never forget that the initial population in the park started with only 11 individuals due to the conflicting interest of citrus farmers in the area. During 1919 to 1920, 114 elephants were massacred. Add to that the impact that the ivory hunting in the 1800s had on numbers, with 7 tons of ivory being exported from the Eastern Cape via Port Elizabeth Harbour in 1837. So the reason for the initial small gene pool with a tuskless tendency in Addo can possibly also be placed at the door of human greed. The situation for these magnificent beings in the Namib Desert of Namibia was no better. Between 1892 and 1908, over 2,000 were killed for their ivory. By the 1950s, less than 1,500 remained in the area. But the civil war in Namibia, with the involvement of the SANDF, the numbers were reduced to less than 300. Human greed, again, to a great extent responsible for the only plus minus 150 remaining. And what impact it had on tusklessness in the area is currently unknown. Due to uncontrolled hunting before the Kruger National Park was proclaimed in 1927, the numbers were low, with an initial number of 120, but due to conservation efforts the past century, the population grew to 30,000 currently. A total of 14,629 were culled over a period of 27 years, lasting from 1967 to 1994, as part of a controversial culling program. Entire family groups were culled to avoid leaving orphans and minimize suffering. So tusks did not play a role, and also Kruger has seen far less poaching than other areas, and tusklessness is almost non-existent there. Elephants use their tusks all the time. They are not mere ornaments or commodities. They are an essential part of their being and tools of survival. They dig for water in drought. They strip bark to get access to much needed nutrients, and they defend themselves and their families. To see an elephant with its tusks intact is to witness the full majesty of a species sculpted by evolution over millions of years. Yet, human greed has stripped so many of their rightful heritage, driving their numbers to perilous lows. May our thoughts, words, and actions contribute to the well-being of these magnificent beings, allowing them to be free again, to continue shaping the landscapes they have long ruled.